My name is Sophie O'Hara, and I am a final year economics and politics and law student, and I am going to be bringing you through everything economics, politics, and law. So, why study economics, politics, and law? Well, first, you get a great broad basis in the three subjects that complement each other. So it's practice-based learning, and you're fostering key skills to solve current public problems. So basically, because economics, politics, and law is so broad, it comes together also a lot. You think that because there's so many subjects within it, you don't realize how often they come together, particularly like in policy making, in law making, in finance. They all constantly come between each other. So it's one of a kind in Ireland, actually. I think there's a similar course in Galway, but it's one of the very unique course in Ireland. And it's a great course that even our Minister for Justice is actually a previous EPL graduate. So it's definitely something to look into. So in final year, you can specialize. So if you think that you're more kind of economics inclined, you can just do economics. You can go towards a political stream, or you can go towards a law stream, or you can do all three, dependent on what your preference is. You can take the course as a 3 or 4 year degree. So there's an option for a year abroad at a partner university, or a work placement. So there's places like PwC, Ernst & Young, Grant Thornton, and this is all via DCU's intro program. So first and second year, all modules are mandatory. So they include topics like constitutional law, micro and macroeconomics, research skills and methods, contract law, European Union law, data analysis, there's contract law, public finance, Irish political system, maths for economics, American politics, and Irish legal system. So it's a very, very broad course. There's something for everyone. I know myself, I thoroughly enjoyed it because it was constantly something new, something different. And if you find that you're kind of like, I know it's some courses when it's streamlined and it's just one of three, you can kind of find that you've got a lot, you kind of have a lot of it, and you might find it's a bit much for everything. But I found that with this course, particularly because there was so much variety, I enjoyed so much of it all together. And like the way it contrasted with each other, like course modules would interlink in ways you mightn't even see. But I 10 out of 10 recommend it. Thoroughly enjoyed my time in DCU so far. So I'm in third year, so I'm in final year now. So it's the final year modules are modules like company law, global economic issues, econometrics, public choice, Irish economic analysis, there's public policy, jurisprudence, political leadership, public international law, and there's dissertations. So particularly from my experience so far, so I'm halfway through final year now, and I've thoroughly enjoyed my time, because I think in third year or final year, if you've taken the 4 years, you really get to kind of decide your route. And I know myself, I've chosen more of a law and economic route. So I've done like modules last semester, tort law, property law, I've done financial markets. This semester we've topics on applied economics, and we have like loads and lots of variety in third year. And because you get to decide, you kind of get to choose your route a little bit more. And I think that's been incredibly beneficial to me, because I think that I'm kind of between the law and the economics kind of areas. So I think having that choice in final year is really beneficial to those who kind of think they don't fit particularly in one of the three areas. And also you can go with one of the areas. So let's say if you wanted to do politics, you could choose all politics modules if you like, and another person could choose all economics, and another person could choose between the three, and they're still coming out with the same degree. So I think generally third year is where you can really decide where you want to go and what way you want to take your degree coming out at the end of it. So there is an optional year, which is intra, or you can go Erasmus. So me personally, I decided to do the intra placement, which is basically integrated training. So it's like an internship. So it takes place in year 3. There's a work placement. It's basically a work placement program that gives DCU students practical skills and career opportunities. So during the duration of this is 12 months or more. So you can begin any time from June to September period. And I think what drew me to the intro program is seeing how many people were gain employment from afterwards. So 40% of the students who've done an intern placement have been offered a job after graduation. And also it's a paid internship. So basically I worked for a year. I've been paid the 9 to 5 salary, which is great, I have to say. And I learned so much in my year, and I definitely recommend it to students who are thinking about it. And also, if you're kind of worried about like, oh, it's 12 months, I mightn't have time for my J1, you can start from June and go on to the following June and still have time for your J1, your summer travels, your summer holidays. It works. Most of the jobs work the same way. You're still getting your 2 weeks holidays. I know myself, I got 3 weeks off for Christmas, so that was great. And also the DCU will be with you every step of the way. So the jobs are screened, to make sure it's a suitable placement, and they're constantly kind of kept in touch with us. I know myself, Emma McAvoy, who's actually one of my lecturers now, she was constantly in touch with us, making sure that we were getting on okay, how we were finding the placement. There was an interview with my supervisor, and she basically went through with him how he thought I was getting on, and then she got in contact with me and see how I was getting on. And generally, I think I know going into the year, it's a bit daunting, the year out from college, like I'm not going to be kind of in contact with the college, but I was in contact with the college a lot. And since me going there, they've actually taken on 2 more DCU students. So it's created a kind of a great place for people to be, because I know I thoroughly enjoyed my intro experience. So again, my intern experience. So I worked as a legal executive in Robert Dow Burke & Co Solicitors, just beyond Marion Square, if you know Fitzwilliam Square. I really enjoyed the experience. It has allowed me to apply content I've learned to practical work. Also, just a side note, I will be answering questions at the end. So if you want to pop them into the little chat box there, I'll come back around to them at the end. So it has greatly benefited me in final year, particularly with skills within the job, research and problem solving. I know myself, I worked particularly in the conveyancing or property, which is buying or selling property, litigation, and some company areas in the job. And I found that even coming into this year, one of my modules was tax. And having done property and litigation, I didn't think tax would really kind of benefit me for my job, but there was so much that I learned within the skills, within talking to the barristers. Like, they gave me insights to their experience, and solicitors with their FE1s and Blackhall. And even just having those conversations within the job has really given me like clarity on what kind of area I'd be going into. It gave an insight into office life and the pressures and problems that can arise as part of the job, because as much as people can tell you about their experience, you won't really know if you do or don't like the job unless you kind of experience it yourself. And I found that having done it, it really confirmed that it is the area that I want to go into. And I've gained so much knowledge from it. And even like, it really confirmed that I did want to go down the legal route. And I really enjoyed the experience. And then I was actually offered a traineeship for when I finished college. So not even just the kind of stuff I learned from it, I've actually kind of gotten a place for myself to when I finish college. So it really kind of is very beneficial to me personally. And again, I came into final year confident in the skills that I'd learned and much more prepared for the year. And I know my other friends that have been on Intra and Erasmus, they found that even just a year out of kind of maybe in-house kind of academic learning really allowed them to mature, and like the skills that they've learned that they can apply to final year now have been great. And a lot of them have been received offers to come back. So I think 90% of the people that I know and my friends that did it have been offered a place since, which is great. So just general course details, again, it'd be 3 or 4 year degree. You can do a year abroad or an internship. I know some of my friends were in Berlin, Spain. There's an option for Scotland. There's a few other places as well. So the requirements are an O4 or a H6 in maths. And then the CAO points for the last couple of years are within the 440 to 450 range. And again, careers, this degree has opens the door to a broad range of careers in law, consultancy, finance, and various aspects of public policy making. It's a very broad degree, but it's incredibly beneficial. Like, having spoken to actually some partners in Matheson, they said that the EPL degree is very attractive to employers because it's so broad that EPL students have a bit more of like a broad view on what they've learned and like more information, and even like Excel, like that's a part of one of our modules, that those skills that have come from EPL are very attractive to employers. And like organizations across the public, private and non-profit sector depend on a keen knowledge of political, economic and financial and legal environments. So this degree really kind of is a widespread, that is a great kind of thing to bring into a job, because it's not just one particular area that you're an expert of. You have 3 different areas that you've a wide variety of knowledge and skills to yourself. And again, it's a very unique course, and it's geared to giving students core skills that maximize their employability. And again, having seen the statistics from the intra program, 40% of those who've done intra have gotten a job after. And I know a few people now that were in EPL have gotten their placements through the intra program, and then through kind of DCU helping them through it. But again, I thoroughly recommend doing EPL. So I'm going to hop back to the live chat now. So if you have any questions, if you want to pop them into the box. So Owen, how would you go about doing FE1s if you wanted to continue at law after the course, or is it better to do a normal law degree? So actually you can do FE1s throughout your college degree now. So one of my friends just did her constitutional law FE1 in October, and she passed, thankfully. But you can start your FE1s as soon as you start the degree. I think, me personally, having known like friends in normal law degrees, and then EPL, I think EPL is definitely more, I think you can do either. Both are as beneficial as each other. Now, with this course, you can go on to become a barrister. Sorry, not a barrister, a solicitor. So you can go straight to FE1s as soon as you like in the October. So again, my friend, she did hers in October. She's planning on doing another one in March. I'm planning to start mine next October. So again, I personally believe that EPL is a great course because, again, you've just such a wide variety and a view of kind of the world with the 3 areas rather than just law. I hope that's answered your question, Owen. Are there any more questions people want to pop on? And also, this meeting or this video is being recorded, so if you think you've missed anything or anything like that, you can watch it back. It should be on the DCU website. So if anyone has any more questions, you want to pop them in the box. Yeah, just generally about EPL, I think, like, I spoke to my boss in my interplacement that he said himself that EPL is a very, very attractive course to employers. Again, someone different. He thinks that it is a very wide kind of area that you're covering, and like general skills even coming into the job, like the Excel skills that we learned through data analysis, the research methods and design, through one of our politics modules, like different law modules, have really benefited me kind of throughout kind of the areas that I mightn't have seen kind of initially that you realise have applied across. What master's degrees do graduates go on to from EPL? So there's actually a really wide variety. I know some people have gone to do kind of more of economics, like financial law. You can go on to do politics degrees. So one of my friends is actually looking at a sustainability degree, kind of climate sustainability. Others have gone on to do more economics based masters. So again, there's a really, really big wide variety of what masters you can go into. And I know kind of some people who want to do law have covered kind of economics masters to kind of get, again, widen their variety of kind of tools at their hand. I know someone who did a standard degree in DCU and then went on to do a master's in law in Trinity. Is that something you can do with EPL? Yeah, you can You can do, once you've a degree, you can kind of do masters kind of generally in most colleges. There are some criteria that you do have to meet, so it is dependent on the college and where you're applying, particularly masters. A lot of the masters programs will have their kind of requirements of where you've come from and what you're deciding to do. So it would have to be something that you'd have to look into specifically. And apologies if you can hear my dog barking. He is at the top of the stairs and I think someone's come to the door. But yeah, so generally it's degree specific. So if you were to look at the specifics of the masters that's there, that will let you know. But again, EPL is a law degree, so it's just the barrister that you wouldn't be able to become from EPL, but you can become a solicitor. And if you wanted to become a barrister from EPL, you would just need to do an LLB, a master's. Just there's a small addition, and I know there has been talks of and I'm not 100% sure if this is in yet. There was kind of a few feelers put out that they were going to do an extra, if you wanted to now, an LLB that was attached to EPL that would allow you to become a barrister. But again, I'm not 100% sure if that's in yet. But that was something that was brought up. Are there any more questions? And there's no such thing as a silly or stupid question. So if there's something small, don't be afraid to throw your question in. I'm not seeing any more. Oh, I might have one there. But yeah, again, I think a lot of my friends kind of came into the degree with they weren't sure where they wanted to go with the degree, and with EPL they found that it was really they're really like it kind of solidified what they want to do, and it was just a great course for them because it was so wide and there's a lot of variety in it that they could really kind of test the three areas and still get a good kind of knowledge of them all to see where they wanted to go with their career. How are the hours for first year? Oh, that's a good question. I think they're not too bad. I think it was kind of around 15 hours a week, maybe, give or take. You wouldn't have too many in a day. Like I think there's about 8 modules in first year. So they'd be you'd have the class about 1 to 2 times a week, and then in first year you have tutorials, so you'd have them either every week or every second week. So dependent, I'd say about 15 to 20 hours per week, dependent on the subjects that you have at the time and if there are tutorials for it. Now, we're nearly finished the session here, so if you have any more questions, if you want to pop them in, we'll be finished at about 10 past, so I want to make sure I cover all your questions. Don't see any more coming in. Do you know what I can do? I can pop back and I can have I can show you if you want to have a look at any of the modules that are there. But yeah, I know myself as a final year. Last semester which is a bit mad, 4 years on. I was a couple of years ago. I've definitely, even just as a personal experience, I've really, really enjoyed EPL. I think the lecturers involved, the subjects, we've had a really, really, really interesting kind of amount of modules. I know last semester, some of the girls are doing conflict resolution in Northern Ireland. This semester, there's issues in American politics. We've had US history and politics, criminal law. I have law of evidence this semester, which is quite interesting. I have property law. It's just climate change law as well, which is one of them. So if you've an interest in climate or climate change or climate sustainability, that was a great one for the girls last semester. And there's just been a really, really good kind of variety of modules that kind of suit everyone's taste. And they've really enjoyed everything so far. Are there any more questions, or I just want to make sure I have them covered before we end here? Hope the studying's going all well for you. You should have your mocks in a couple of weeks. I'd say you're excited for those. Yeah, I think we'll leave it there. Thank you very much for coming on and having a listen. I have 2 or 3 people typing here. No problem at all. Right, I think that is everything. No problem at all. Thank you very much for coming on, and best of luck with your mocks and your leaving cert.